Good morning, friends. A new venture called Manasa Publications started at Chennai, announced a literary prize for novels at this year 2025. This novel competition is exclusively for female writers. One prize for college going girls and another one for general female writers. Their ambition is to find a set of new female writers from South India in the coming years. That's a noble cause because actually we have no great female writers who write in English in these days. Yeah, we have a lot of writers here, but generally our great writers are writing in Tamil, Malayalam and Kannada and Telugu. We need a lot of writers writing in English about South India in these days because our younger generation is actually reading a lot in English because our education language is English. So we need a lot of female writers in future. See, our younger generation is reading a lot in English, but they are reading Western works. Yeah, I know Western works are very, very important and they have a great role in developing our intellectual capability. But literature is something more. Why we are writing and reading novels and literature particularly? Because it is not a way to improve our knowledge, but it is a way to evoke our personality from ourselves. We are reading a novel to invent ourselves in that novel. We are reading a text to create ourselves. Create ourselves is a strange word, right? But just imagine, our personality is actually created by language and knowledge. What's life after all? Life is a grand collection of events which has no coherency, no interconnectivity. The coherency and interconnectivity is actually created by ourselves. We are creating our life as a text, and our memory is made up of the text. That memory makes our personality, and that memory is the source of culture. The collective memory is called culture. Even history is the collective memory only. So creative literature is actually creating culture and history. So why we are reading a novel? We are not reading a novel just for a pleasure, a high level entertainment. I know that's not wrong in it, but creative literature is something more. We are reading a creative work to create our personality, and through that actually we are creating our history and culture. So we need a lot of female writers who write their gender, their psychological and emotional problems, their spiritual cost, their intellectual cost, everything. That's why this venture is a very important one. That's why I'm recording this. I'm a Tamil writer. I wrote a lot of novels in Tamil, and recently my novels are being translated in English, and they are published in English in India by Juggernaut and other publications. They are going to be published by American publications also, like FSG and Transit Publications. So I have some qualifications to say about novels. The first thing I have to say, why we should write a novel. I would say like this: we are writing a novel to invent ourselves, to redefine ourselves, or rather define ourselves. Usually we have a definition about ourselves. Actually, it is created by language and culture around us, our family, our education institutions, and other things like religion and caste and everything have a mode to define ourselves. So we have that definition for ourselves. But while we are writing something from our mind, we are actually redefining ourselves. That's the real definition of ourselves. What is our mind? Our mind is a grand collection of memories, and these memories have no interconnection between. While writing, we are connecting it and we are creating a text out of it. Through the text, we are defining ourselves, we are defining our mind. That's why we are writing. We are reading for that purpose also. If you are a good reader, you can write. A good reader can write at least only one novel. At least one novel. If a person who can write one novel, he cannot easily stop. That's my experience. How to write a novel? That's another question. Writing a novel is a very easy thing if you have a language in your mind. Everybody has a monologue in their mind, but a good reader had more vocabulary in his mind. His mind is larger than other people. A person who have a larger mind, a larger monologue, a larger inner flow of words can write a novel. Actually, we are calling it as imagination. If you have that language, just sit and write. That's the only process of writing. Right? Select a place, select a time, and begin to write. That's my formula. I never change the place or time to write. If you have a particular place and time in your mind to write, naturally your mind will develop a tendency to write. Your mind easily create a mood to write if you have a particular time and place. See, I will simplify the process like this. It's a daydreaming through language. Everybody has a daydreaming system in their mind, right? We all have daydreams. Particularly in the young age, we have a lot of daydreams, imaginations, fantasies, and actually hallucinations also. Create it through language. Put it down in language. That's the process of writing. So say, find a place and sit and try to write. The main challenge in writing a novel is actually writing, the very process of writing. While sitting on a table and starting to write something, you'll find two things. One is, writing is not so easy. Your language is not sufficient to express yourself. And actually, your knowledge in language is very poor. Yeah, that's true. Actually, we are using only few words in our day-to-day life. We use English to order pizza or write an email. We imagine that we know English very well. But when we are writing something, we will find immediately that language is not sufficient for writing anything seriously. We have to train ourselves. We have to find a lot of new words, new expressions and idioms and phrases and everything. But the learning process is writing that novel. Through writing that novel, you can develop your language, your expression and everything. I can say like this: Writing a novel is the learning process of writing a novel. Just try to write, you'll find your way to write. Just struggle with that language. Never give up. You will find your way to write. That's the one thing. The another thing is, while writing a thing, you will find that something new is appearing before you. Something new is emerging from your mind, and actually it is happening in the paper. It's a mysterious thing, really. Clint Brooks, one of the major American critics, says creative writing is a raid into the unconscious. I would rather say creative writing is a raid into the collective unconscious of your culture and society. You are actually becoming the representative of your culture, your gender, and your period. So the thing you are writing in a novel is actually coming from that collective unconscious. So before writing that piece, you actually don't know what it is. It is actually evolving from you. It appears from your subconscious and your inner mind. That's a bliss. So the writing process is twofold. One is struggling and another one is enjoying. One is a penury and another one is a bliss. It's a great pendulum. It pushes you towards the depression, and then it pulls you towards the high moment of bliss. After experiencing the great pleasure of writing, you will never leave it up. You will write for the rest of your life. So just sit and try to write. That's the first thing. Don't worry about the form, language, and anything. You can edit it, you can change it, you can restructure it. The first thing you need is a bulk of words, a bulk of writing. Just try to write at least 2000 or 3000 words for a week. Complete a 50,000 words. Then think about restructuring it and remodeling it. Writing a text is the foremost challenge of writing a novel. Another thing, usually modern novels have no stories. Story is not important for a modern novel, but I won't advocate it for a new writer. If you are a debut writer, try to write a story. A story already had a form, right? A starting, a culmination and an end, an atmosphere, a cultural premise, a place and time, and a set of characters, their relations between them, and the problem, the culmination of the problem, and the end of that problem. The structure is very age old and it has its comfortable structure in it. You can use it easily. So select a story. That's a very easy form to write a novel. And another thing is, select a premise which is very close to you. Never select a strange place or a strange time or a strange subject to write, because for that you have to make a lot of travels, you have to make a lot of research. For a young writer, it's not good for starting a novel. Select a theme which is very close to you, select a place which is very close to you, then start to write it. But it should not be your biography. If it is your direct biography, you will not complete it, because while writing your biography in letters, you will find that this very confusing or boring or anything. Eventually, you will develop a kind of hesitation to complete it. For writing a biography, you need a distance from that events. For an young writer, it is not very easy. See, I can write a biography about myself because already I am 60 years old and I have a distance between my experience and my personality. But it's not very easy in the young age. So you can write a thing which is very close to you, but which is not your biography. You can pour your biography into that subject. You can hide yourself in that story. If you are a student, don't write about your student life. Write about a village girl. You can imagine yourself as a village girl, and you can pour your emotions and feelings and ideas into that girl, right? Then you can hide into that girl and you can narrate the story very easily. Nobody will find you easily. If you are a housewife, write about another personality which is close to you. Then you can easily hand over your emotions to that character. That's a good way to write a novel. For the young debut writers, I'll advocate three things. One, sit and write. Discover the possibilities and hindrances of writing. Don't worry about the form and structure of the novel. You can edit it and remodel it anytime. Select a good story with a start and end, with strong characters. Select a premise which is very close to you, but it is not you. Try to be that character through writing that novel. Remember that writing is a kind of daydreaming through words. You can write a novel. Through writing a novel, you're actually defining yourself and indirectly defining your culture. And you are contributing to your culture. You are making your life bigger. You are making your life meaningful. See, everybody had a mass of experience in their mind, a meaningless mass of experience. Because meaning is actually created by us. The meaningless experience is actually suppressing you and it is giving you depression. If you are depressed, the meaning is you have a lot of experience which cannot be explained by you. Try to write something. You will explain that experiences. You will create a text out of it. That's the best way to relieve it from you. The best way to free yourself from it. That's the best way to create yourself. Through writing, you can create your personality. That's a great challenge for any youth today, particularly for women. It's a great opportunity modern times offering. See, for centuries, females are defined by the culture and society, which is essentially patriarchal and male dominant. Today, you have a personality which is defined by the male chauvinist society, which is defined by a patriarchal society. Through writing, you can redefine it. Through writing, you can rediscover it, right? That's a great opportunity our times give offering to you. If you are enjoying your life with simple things like consumeristic ideas, actually you are wasting a great opportunity offered by this century. Enjoy it and discover yourself also. It's a great opportunity. I recommend this novel competition for every female in South India and abroad who can write about South India, right? Female from US or Britain or Europe or Singapore or Malaysia who can write about South Indian mind and life can participate in this competition. Best of luck. Thank you.